Marhaba, that's hello in Arabic. I'm Chef Kamal and you're cooking with Kamal Lebanese style. I'd like to show you one of the recipes from my cookbook, Classic Lebanese Cuisine. This recipe is on page 8 and it's for hummus, or what we call hummus Tahini. Now the word hummus in Arabic literally means garbanzo beans, and there's two ways you can start with this recipe. You can get dry garbanzo beans, which come in a bag, and you can just take these. You measure 1.25 cups and you put it in 4 cups of cold water overnight with a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then the next day you drain the water off, add 6 cups of water with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and cook it until they're tender. You can start that way by making the hummus, or you can just get a 15 or 16 ounce can of garbanzo beans from the grocery store. And the nice thing about this recipe is that you can keep a lot of these ingredients in the pantry, so it's very quick and easy to make, and the garbanzo beans and the tahini stay in the pantry. They don't need refrigeration, and then you just need fresh lemon juice, garlic, and salt. So now what I've done is I've drained the liquid from the garbanzo beans and I've put them in a small saucepan with about 1/2 cup of water. Now I like to do this because I like to heat the beans, because when I put it in the food processor, I think it's going to give us a smoother texture of hummus. Now I'm going to reduce the water by half. You could reduce the water by more, making very thick hummus, or let there be more water in there and have loose hummus if you want it for like a dip with vegetables. I like to do it by half because I think it makes it just the right consistency. So I'm going to take 2 large cloves of garlic. Now, when you're selecting garlic, always choose heads that are firm, so that when you squeeze on them, if they seem porous or sprouting from the top, I wouldn't buy it. It means it's not fresh. So we're going to go ahead and put our 2 cloves of garlic. I usually use 2 large cloves, and a teaspoon of salt in the food processor. These beans are going to cook down a bit. Now I've got them down where they've been reduced to about half, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn the fire off here. And we're just going to add this, and we're going to process it for about 2 minutes. You don't have to do anything, you just process this for 2 minutes. Okay, so now that's been about 2 minutes, so we're just going to go ahead and turn this off. Now what I like to do is we're going to scrape the sides down just a bit to get any of the pieces that have sort of splattered up. So we just scrape this down once. And now we're going to go ahead and add our tahini. Now tahini, you can buy it in specialty stores. This is a brand that I happen to like very much. It's made by Al Wadi, and it actually is imported from Lebanon. Now if you have trouble finding any of these ingredients, I have an online store called shopkamal.com where you can purchase these items and they'll be shipped directly to your home if you can't find them in the stores close by. Now tahini is ground sesame seeds. You need to mix this very well before you add it because it can separate when it's been in the container for a long time. Now what I've done is I've squeezed 1/3 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and then we're going to add 1/3 cup of the tahini, and then we're just going to process this for another minute, and then that's it. Our hummus is ready. And the nice thing about this is you can make this days in advance, keep it in the fridge, and just bring it out when you need to use it. Now, I always like to serve it at room temperature, so we're just going to process this for 1 more minute. Okay, so that's been about a minute, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to transfer to bowl where I like to let it come to room temperature, and then we're going to go ahead and platter it. Okay, so now it's cooled down to room temperature, so I'm just going to go ahead and transfer to my dish. I'll show you how easy this is to platter. I just always put it right in the center of the dish, and then I just take my spatula. Look, we just smooth this around, and I'm going to make a well in the center because we're going to pour olive oil in here. Okay, and I sort of make a little peak in the middle. That's where I'm going to put my radish. This is so easy. Now just take a radish. I make a few cuts into the top. And then you can make 4 cuts into the sides, and then it sort of looks like a little flower. And I like that because it's an easy decorating method, and it looks great. You just put this in the center. Just take a little bit of parsley. This is the Italian parsley. You can use the curly. Very simple. And if you'd like, you can put a little bit, take these one by one and just put them along the border. Okay, and then we're just going to pour some olive oil. There you got. We've got hummus. Just warm up some pita bread, and then you can just go ahead and serve this. It's absolutely delicious. Sahtain, double health. This recipe is one of 170 fresh and healthy Mediterranean favorites found in my cookbook, Classic Lebanese Cuisine. The book comes with a color photograph of each recipe with easy-to-follow step-by-step directions. You can purchase the book at online venues such as Amazon.com or at bookstores throughout the United States and some countries. The book is also available at my shop, shopkamal.com, where you can send inscribed copies of the book to your friends and family. It also comes with a complimentary DVD with a bunch of tutorials such as how to roll grape leaves, rolling dough, how to butcher a leg of lamb, and even how to dice an onion. All of these techniques will be very helpful when you're preparing these recipes and other recipes. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, Sahtain, double health.